just tell us a little bit about the business, what you guys do, maybe how your supply chain works, and basically how you get to the end customer through your supply chain.
Okay. Well, first off, my name is Dan DeMeo, and I lead a company called Can Capital, and we provide working capital for small businesses. The whole category for the company that we sit in has pretty much exploded over the last couple of years, and it's a specialty finance company that squarely fits into an industry that's pretty well known now as fintech. We're a non-bank institution. We provide working capital in the form of loans or something else that's called a merchant cash advance. The difference between a loan and a merchant cash advance is essentially just the payment feature. A loan is a fixed loan with a fixed payment. Merchant cash advance is a fluctuating payment that ebbs and flows with a merchant's revenue.
Based on the revenue
Of the particular merchant.
Of the particular merchant.
And that's very important in the criteria by which, one, we decide whether to provide working capital and fund a merchant, but then also relative to the capacity or how much we can lend them.
Okay, and how do you assess whether they're, what's the threshold? How do you assess?
But I'm still answering the first question.
Okay.
So we've been in business for 18 years. We just surpassed the $6 billion mark.
Wow. As
it relates to total volume. We pioneered a concept called daily remittance, which when the inception of the business and the founder started this business, they went to FICO. I don't know if you or your classmates or whoever's going to see this video know much about FICO, but it's a universal, but particular to the U.S. primarily, a way to judge someone's credit score. So you absolutely have a FICO. Tasha has a FICO. And that's generally the way that one judges the creditworthiness of a customer in this country. We went to FICO early on to get some support for our business around decisioning. The most important part of a specialty finance business or a lending business in general is your decisioning, who you credit qualify and who you don't, and that's what I mean by the decisioning. So we couldn't get FICO support, so we had to build everything on our own.
Wow.
Through our own proprietary scoring techniques and algorithms, proprietary technology, everything across the value and the delivery chain to eventually work my way back to your question before. The business had been primarily started with originating through third-party channels. So there's merchant services organizations that support retail and restaurant small businesses. And generally speaking, these are companies that go in and terminalize a small business for Visa and MasterCard. They represented a great opportunity for us as it relates to cross-sell or upsell, or not only are we going to sell you the ability to accept Visa and MasterCard, but at the same time we're going to give you an additional offer. Do you need working capital? Well, why would a small business need working capital? Perhaps payroll during a seasonal period, expansion, various forms of use that a small business would use to continue to grow their business.
Mr. Stevens, what is a good tip for me to take from this conversation?
A good tip is building relationships. You have to build relationships. Being able to accept no and to keep on going forward. And being able to ask people questions different ways. You can't just say one simple question. You got to rephrase it so people will understand it. Because a lot of times when you're talking to people, they might not understand what you're talking about. So you have to rephrase it into a way that they might understand. So as I said, relationships, accept no, rephrasing questions. That's good tips.
Okay, let me also ask you this. When selling a product to that customer, okay, what about if the customer knows more about the product than I do?
If the customer knows more than you know, I'd bring in an engineer. When you meet someone like that, you bring in a product specialist. And truthfully, people don't buy from you. Executives don't buy from you because of the product. They buy from you because you have a good solution that's going to benefit their organization.
So how do you go about recruiting those people that need to know about those products that you are getting ready to sell to some of your future
Well,
potential clients?
Well, there's engineers. At Siemens, we had engineers. We had an engineer for what they call call center engineer. We had a data installation. We had what they call an IVR, interactive voice response system. We had an engineer for that. So you have different engineers for different products. They're specialists. You bring those in when you're trying to sell those products. As a sales rep, you're about building relationships. You're about putting solutions together that are going to benefit that organization. It's basically the return on investment for that company. People don't buy because of a product. Because you can find 10 different companies got the same product. How they're going to pick which one's better? They don't know. They built because you built the relationship, they like you, you got a better solution. You showed them that when it comes down to that bottom line, you can save money or this can make you money, and that's it.
So as a newcomer coming into the, just now breaking into the business, what should be some of my, do's and don'ts that I don't do, or what I should do when, trying to get a client to want to buy from you?
See, I don't think you have to think, how do I get a client to buy from me? You got to stop thinking about getting a client to buy from me. Think about how you're going to build that relationship with that client. Because if all you're thinking about, how do I get this customer to buy, you're going to miss what that customer's telling you. Because all you got in your mind is, how am I going to get this guy to buy from you? Not how am I going to put something in this customer's environment that's going to benefit the customer. Because he has to think it's going to benefit them. I'm not going to say it is, but he has to think it's going to benefit them. You have to show them everything. What people talk about is return on investment. The IT guy really is not the one who makes a decision. It's his VP. Could be the CEO. Depends on the size of the company. So you could talk all about those bits and bytes with him, but it's when you get to the top, that guy's going to say, how does this benefit my organization? If you can't explain that to him, you lose the deal. Somebody else will get it. Or if you haven't built a relationship with that person, somebody else will get the deal. Lost many deals where I thought I was going to win. When I was at Siemens, I was working with this company called American Reassurance. We had a relationship with this customer. We were like, oh, we're going to win the deal. It was Siemens versus Avaya. At that time, it's let's say AT&T. And AT&T already had the existing product in New Jersey. We had the solution in Germany. Everything looked like we were going to win. It was $1 million opportunity for me. When it came down to that last day, the last when they're going to make a decision, we got on the phone with the CEO before, the VP before, the day before. It looked like he asked a couple of questions. Oh, we're going to win this deal. Next day we get a call, we decided to stay with Avaya.
Wow.
We didn't build a relationship. It looks like they were able to show why they should keep this system and why they should just upgrade it. I'm sure it came down to dollars.
Wow. So let me ask you this. At what point do you introduce the price to the client? When should you can never say there's a certain time to introduce a price to a client. It's, have you looked at developing a solution, developing the ROI, and then you present that price. And I can tell you that price is probably going to change about 4 or 5 times, because then they're going to come back and ask you different thing. You got a sales cycle, depends on the size of the system. Sales cycles, I've known sales cycles take 2-3 years. You can go 2-3 years, especially to larger customers trying to sell a solution. Smaller customers, 2-3 months. Okay, so you can present first of all, a lot of times you want to be the first one to present the price anyway. Because now you've set it, and if they have a better relationship with somebody else, they're going to say, this is the price this guy got me, can you do better? Attention. And that's how it is with client. You have to show them attention. And showing them attention is difficult because a lot of times you call them, they won't call you back. And I'm not gonna call, but you gotta keep calling them, you gotta keep going after them. It's like a girl when you're after them. You gotta be after them and show, or any relationship. You gotta show that you're after them.